It was a cold and foggy Thanksgiving Eve in 1971. A Boeing 727 Flight 305 was preparing for takeoff from Portland International Airport. The flight, bound for Seattle, was routine, filled with holiday travelers eager to reach their destinations. Little did anyone know that this seemingly ordinary flight would become the setting for one of the most baffling mysteries in American history, a story that would captivate the nation for decades to come. The plane was a typical commercial airliner of the time, with rows of seats flanking a narrow aisle. Passengers settled into their seats, some reading, others chatting, and some simply gazing out at the fog-shrouded tarmac. The air was thick with anticipation, the hum of conversation punctuated by the occasional cough or the rustle of a newspaper. The flight attendants made their rounds, ensuring passengers were comfortable and prepared for takeoff. As the plane taxied down the runway and lifted into the foggy sky, none of the 36 passengers or 6 crew members could have predicted the extraordinary events that were about to unfold. The flight seemed destined for a smooth journey, a brief hop over to Seattle. However, high above the clouds, a plan was already in motion, a plan orchestrated by a man who would soon become known as D.B. Cooper, a name whispered in both fear and fascination for years to come. The man who called himself Dan Cooper was about to execute a daring heist, a skyjacking that would challenge the FBI, baffle investigators, and leave a trail of unanswered questions in its wake. His story, a blend of audacity and mystery, would become a legend, a tale told and retold, analyzed and debated, but never fully understood. The foggy Thanksgiving Eve of 1971 was about to become a pivotal point in aviation history, forever marked by the enigmatic figure of D.B. Cooper. He was an unassuming figure, a man in his mid-40s dressed in a dark suit and tie, carrying a briefcase. He purchased his ticket under the name Dan Cooper, paying cash for a one-way fare to Seattle. He took his seat, 18C, in the rear of the plane, ordered a bourbon and soda, and lit a cigarette. He blended in with the other passengers, a seemingly ordinary traveler on a routine flight. But beneath the veneer of normalcy, Cooper harbored a secret, a plan that would soon shatter the tranquility of the flight. As the plane climbed to cruising altitude, he passed a note to Florence Schaffner, one of the flight attendants. The note, written in neat, all-capital letters, revealed his true intentions. He had a bomb in his briefcase, and he was hijacking the plane. Schaffner, initially skeptical, glanced at the note and then at the man in 18C. He appeared calm, his demeanor unwavering. She discreetly informed the pilot, Captain William Scott, about the note and the passenger's claim. Scott, a seasoned pilot, knew the gravity of the situation. He immediately contacted air traffic control, alerting them to the potential hijacking. The news rippled through the cockpit, a wave of tension replacing the calm of the routine flight. The crew, trained for emergencies, understood the protocol, cooperate with the hijacker, ensure the safety of the passengers, and await instructions from authorities on the ground. The fate of Flight 305 and the lives of everyone on board now rested in the hands of the enigmatic man in seat 18C. Cooper, maintaining his composure, allowed Schaffner to take a closer look at the contents of his briefcase. Inside, she saw a tangle of wires and red cylinders, a sight that sent a chill down her spine. It was impossible to know for sure if it was a real bomb, but the potential threat was enough to send a wave of fear through the cabin. The passengers, oblivious to the drama unfolding, continued their conversations, unaware that their journey had taken a sinister turn. Cooper, his demands clear, laid out his terms. He wanted $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a refueling truck standing by in Seattle. His instructions were precise, his tone calm but resolute. There was no room for negotiation, no hint of panic in his voice. He was in control, dictating the terms of this high-stakes game. The pilot, following established procedures, relayed Cooper's demands to air traffic control. The FBI was immediately notified and a plan was set in motion to meet the hijackers' requests. Time was of the essence, and the authorities knew they had to act swiftly to ensure the safety of the passengers and crew. The drama was unfolding thousands of feet above the ground, a tense standoff between a lone hijacker and the forces of law enforcement on the ground. As the plane continued its journey towards Seattle, the passengers remained unaware of the unfolding crisis. The flight attendants, following Cooper's instructions, maintained a semblance of normalcy, serving drinks and attending to passenger needs. Behind the facade of routine, however, fear and uncertainty lingered in the air. The fate of Flight 305 hung in the balance, a pawn in a high-stakes game orchestrated by the enigmatic D.B. Cooper. The FBI, working against the clock, scrambled to gather the ransom money in parachutes. The $200,000 in unmarked $20 bills was withdrawn from several Seattle banks. The parachutes, a mix of military-grade and civilian models, were procured from a local skydiving school. Every effort was made to meet Cooper's demands, to avoid provoking him and jeopardizing the lives of those on board. Meanwhile, Flight 305 circled over Puget Sound, awaiting instructions. The passengers, still oblivious to the hijacking, were told that the landing was delayed due to a minor mechanical issue. The flight attendants, walking a tightrope between maintaining calm and concealing their fear, continued to serve drinks and offer reassurances. The tension was palpable, a silent dread hanging heavy in the air. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the Pacific Northwest, the refueling truck was in position at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. The ransom money and parachutes were loaded onto the plane, ready to be delivered to the hijacker. The FBI agents, disguised as ground crew, watched as the plane taxied to the designated area, their hearts pounding with anticipation. The stage was set for the next act in this unfolding drama, a delicate dance between the authorities and a hijacker who seemed to be one step ahead. The fate of Flight 305 and the lives of those on board hung precariously in the balance. The world watched, captivated by the audacity of D.B. Cooper and the unfolding mystery of the skyjacking. Under the watchful eyes of the FBI, the plane landed in Seattle. The refueling process began, a tense and meticulously orchestrated operation. Cooper, true to his word, released 36 passengers and 2 flight attendants, allowing them to disembark. He kept the pilot, co-pilot, flight engineer, and 1 flight attendant on board, ensuring his demands were met. The released passengers stepping onto the tarmac were met with a flurry of activity, flashing lights, police officers, and a throng of reporters eager for information. The news of the hijacking spread like wildfire, captivating the nation. The story, a blend of daring and mystery, gripped the public imagination. People huddled around radios and televisions, hungry for updates on the unfolding drama. The name D.B. Cooper, initially a mere alias, became synonymous with audacious crime, a symbol of cunning and daring. As the refueling process concluded, Cooper outlined his next move. He instructed the pilot to fly southeast towards Mexico City, maintaining a low altitude and a slow airspeed. The plane, now carrying only Cooper and the remaining crew members, taxied down the runway and lifted into the night sky, disappearing into the darkness. The FBI watched, their hopes of apprehending the hijacker fading with the plane's silhouette. The skyjacking, which had begun as a localized incident, transformed into a national spectacle. The audacity of Cooper's plan, the mystery surrounding his identity, and the unanswered questions about his fate captivated the nation. The Boeing 727, its cabin dimly lit, soared through the night sky. Cooper, now in command of the aircraft, remained calm and collected. He instructed the pilot to maintain a low altitude, flying below the radar, making it difficult for ground crews to track their movements. The crew, caught in the middle of this high-stakes drama, followed his instructions, their every move dictated by the hijacker. The atmosphere inside the cabin was tense, a mix of fear and anticipation. The remaining crew members, their faces etched with worry, could only speculate about Cooper's next move. The flight engineer, Harold Anderson, kept a close eye on the instruments, ensuring the plane maintained its course. The co-pilot, William Radixak, monitored the radio, relaying messages between Cooper and air traffic control. Cooper, a shadowy figure in the dim cabin light, paced back and forth, occasionally peering out of the windows. He seemed familiar with aviation, understanding the capabilities of the aircraft and the limitations of the crew. His knowledge, coupled with his calm demeanor, suggested he had planned this meticulously, anticipating every step of the operation. As the plane flew southeast, the landscape below transformed from the urban sprawl of Seattle to the rugged terrain of the Pacific Northwest. The darkness outside, punctuated only by the faint glow of distant towns, mirrored the uncertainty within the cabin. The fate of Flight 305 and the lives of those on board remained tethered to the enigmatic figure of D.B. Cooper. Somewhere over the dense forests of southwest Washington, Cooper made his move. He instructed Tina Mucklow, the remaining flight attendant, to join the rest of the crew in the cockpit, closing the curtain behind her. He then lowered the aft stairs, a unique feature of the Boeing 727, creating an opening at the rear of the aircraft. With the plane cruising at a low altitude and a slow airspeed, Cooper strapped on one of the parachutes and, with the $200,000 ransom money strapped to his body, jumped into the night. He vanished into the darkness, swallowed by the vast expanse of the Pacific Northwest wilderness. The crew, peering out of the cockpit windows, could only watch as he disappeared from sight, his silhouette fading into the night. The plane, now free of its hijacker, continued its flight towards Reno, Nevada as instructed by Cooper. The crew, shaken but relieved, contacted air traffic control, reporting that Cooper had jumped from the plane. The news, relayed to the FBI, sparked a massive manhunt, a desperate search for the elusive Skyjacker. Cooper's jump, a daring feat executed with precision, marked the culmination of a meticulously planned heist. He had outwitted the authorities, vanishing into thin air with the ransom money. His escape, a testament to his cunning and audacity, solidified his place in criminal lore. The news of Cooper's daring escape sent shockwaves across the nation. The FBI, determined to apprehend the elusive hijacker, launched a massive manhunt. Hundreds of agents, aided by local law enforcement and military personnel, scoured the vast wilderness of southwest Washington, following the projected flight path of the Boeing 727. Helicopters buzzed overhead, their searchlights piercing the darkness, while ground crews combed through dense forests and rugged terrain. Every inch of the suspected landing zone was scrutinized, every clue, no matter how small, was meticulously analyzed. The search, a race against time, was hampered by the difficult terrain, the approaching winter, and the cunning of their quarry. Despite the extensive search efforts, no trace of Cooper was found. No parachute, no body, no sign of the $200,000 ransom money surfaced. The mystery deepened, fueling speculation and intrigue. Had Cooper survived the jump? Had he planned his escape route meticulously, disappearing into the wilderness with the loot? The FBI, faced with a wall of silence, pursued every lead, interviewing witnesses, analyzing evidence, and constructing a profile of the enigmatic Skyjacker. The investigation, spanning decades, became one of the longest and most baffling in the Bureau's history. The investigation into the D.B. Cooper case yielded a few tantalizing clues, but no definitive answers. In 1980, a young boy on a family vacation discovered a bundle of decaying $20 bills along the banks of the Columbia River. The serial numbers matched the ransom money given to Cooper, adding fuel to the mystery. The discovery of the money reignited the investigation, but it also raised more questions than answers. How did the money end up on the riverbank? Was it a deliberate attempt by Cooper to mislead investigators, or was it a sign of a botched escape? The location of the money suggested that Cooper may have landed near the Columbia River, but his fate remained unknown. The FBI continued to pursue leads, investigating numerous suspects over the years. Some individuals claimed to be Cooper, seeking notoriety or a share of the legend. Others were identified based on physical resemblance or circumstantial evidence. However, none of the leads panned out, leaving the true identity of D.B. Cooper shrouded in mystery. The investigation, despite the passage of time, continues to captivate the public imagination. The absence of conclusive evidence in the D.B. Cooper case has given rise to a plethora of theories and speculations. Some believe that Cooper, a skilled skydiver, survived the jump and disappeared into the wilderness, living off the ransom money. Others speculate that he perished during the jump, his body lost in the vast and unforgiving terrain. Some theories suggest that Cooper was a seasoned criminal, a master of disguise and deception, who meticulously planned and executed the heist. Others propose that he was an amateur, driven by desperation or a thirst for adventure, who got in over his head. The lack of a definitive profile, the absence of a confirmed identity, has allowed imaginations to run wild. The mystery surrounding Cooper's fate has become a fertile ground for speculation. Armchair detectives, amateur sleuths, and professional investigators have all attempted to crack the case, piecing together clues, analyzing evidence, and proposing their own theories. The D.B. Cooper case, a puzzle with missing pieces, continues to challenge and intrigue those who seek answers. The allure of the unknown, the audacity of the crime, and the enduring mystery have ensured that the D.B. Cooper case remains a subject of fascination. The D.B. Cooper case, a cold case for over 5 decades, remains an unsolved mystery. The identity of the skyjacker, his fate, and the whereabouts of the ransom money continue to elude investigators and captivate the public imagination. The case, a testament to the enduring power of mystery, serves as a reminder that even in an age of advanced technology and forensic science, some secrets remain hidden. The story of D.B. Cooper, a blend of audacity and enigma, has transcended the realm of true crime, becoming a cultural phenomenon. The case has inspired books, documentaries, songs, and even a dedicated FBI website. The name D.B. Cooper has become synonymous with daring heists and unsolved mysteries, a symbol of cunning and elusiveness. The enduring fascination with the D.B. Cooper case stems from the unanswered questions that linger. Did Cooper survive the jump? Where did he go? What became of the ransom money? These questions, unanswered for over 5 decades, continue to fuel speculation and intrigue. The case, a puzzle with missing pieces, serves as a reminder that some mysteries may never be fully solved. The D.B. Cooper case, a story of daring, mystery, and enduring enigma, continues to captivate the public imagination. The case, a testament to the enduring power of the unknown, stands as a reminder that some stories, despite the passage of time, refuse to fade from memory.